I think people haven't fully understood that obsession is a real thing and that people can watch you and it triggers some feelings in them. Could be envy, could be jealousy, or could be just a reminder of the lack or an absence of certain things in your own lives. Someone being obsessed with your life or wanting your life is not exclusive to celebrities or influencers with thousands of followers. Hey ladies, and welcome to the Regal Feminine. If you're stopping by for the first time, welcome. I'm sure you love it here. If you love content like this, please do well to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get into today's topic, destiny swappers. Can it affect you? Is it a real thing? Well, stick around. There's a lot of spiritual consequences to the things that we take with levity, things that we take so casually. I have a video on moving with silence. Do well to watch it. I'll link it in the description. For the sake of this video, I'll be dropping a lot of examples for us to learn from. No hate, no shade to these women and men that will be coming up in these stories, but just for us to learn, right? As a cautionary tale. The first group of examples would be Porsha Williams, Falynn, and Simon Gubadia. If you're not already familiar with who these people are, Porsha Williams and Falynn were cast on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And at the time, when I knew Falynn, she was married to Mr. Simon Gubadia. Porsha Williams is not new to the entertainment industry, as she had been on the show for years and years. She had been on The Real Housewives of Atlanta for many years, and then Falynn got introduced to us as Porsha's friend, right, from the show. The first scene where we get to see Falynn, I think that was season 13, was where Porsha was going through a rough time, and then she needed time with her girls. She needed like a girls hangout, like a girls thing, right? So she pulled up at Falynn's house with a few other friends, and I will insert a clip here for you to see. And Falynn introduced her husband, Mr. Simon Gobadia, to the rest of the girls, and she informed them that she was going to be upgrading her ring, that her husband was going to upgrade her ring. And then she just showed them around the house, and they were in awe of the house. Beautiful, gorgeous, stunning, huge house, right? After a while, they went to the poolside, and they were seen, or rather they were filmed, having fun by the pool and just like overall having a great time. Tell me why 1 year later, Falynn's marriage fell apart, and the next thing we know, Mr. Simon is pictured with Porsha. They're in a full-blown relationship. In fact, they got engaged really quickly. The next thing, they're married. And it was a huge affair. It was a huge, Nigerian wedding. Very grand, very, you know how Nigerian weddings are. Very beautiful wedding, to be honest. And I just think it's so crazy how things like this happen all the time, even with non-celebrities, even with the people next door. Someone would want your life so bad and be close to you the whole time, plotting to take your man, plotting to take your place, whilst acting out to be an admirer, acting out to be a friend, like they're so happy for you. In the clip that I inserted, in your free time, you can go back to watch it. You should have seen the way Porsha was fangirling Falynn's house. Oh my God, your house is so beautiful. Oh, wow. I want this kind of marriage. She said she wanted that kind of marriage. I heard that really clearly, saying that if she cannot boss her man around the way Falynn bosses Simon, then she doesn't want it. And what happened? A year later, they're married. As much as I believe that destiny swapping sounds intense, destiny swapping sounds a lot more serious to me. I believe that nobody can stop my destiny. But I know that people can plot to take your place in life. People can plan towards your downfall. People can do the craziest things in order to be you. Forgetting that nobody has a perfect life, and everyone has their challenges. And I mean, clearly Simon Gobadia wasn't a perfect man because the marriage was done in a year anyway. So Porsha and Simon are no longer together, and it's so messy. Every other day they're on the blogs, and they're currently, mid-divorce, trying to probably split properties or whatever. And then people are, insinuating that Porsha is a gold digger, that why does she want his properties when the marriage was like a year or less, So that's that. Like, they were fully friends. They were laughing together in the pool, playing. It's really crazy. There's several other examples. Let's get into Kim K and Paris Hilton. So I'm not quite sure which is which, like what story to believe. Some people say that Kim K and Paris were childhood friends and they've known each other since like preschool. Others say it all started when Kim became the personal assistant to Paris Hilton, right? Or like a wardrobe organizer or something like that. The good part is Paris comes from money, like a really popular and influential family. So she's good, she's well off, but we don't even see situations like this all the time. A lot of times we see that the person that is almost like trying to take your place or trying to become you, the person that's coveting your lifestyle so much, when they do succeed in doing things like that, it's almost like the other person just sort of falls off, just loses relevance and things like that. But luckily for Paris, like that did not happen. But there's been, like back and forth on both of them, the media. And there's so many people that always insinuate that Kim literally copied everything that Paris does or that Paris is doing, and that, there's this photo shoot as well. I would insert it for you to see. There's so much really, and that Kim was so desperate to be in the media, to be as popular and influential as Paris, because I mean, Paris was the it girl, the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, while like Paris was that girl. You know what I mean? So, and I think people also say that because of the way Kim became famous, not the best, it wasn't the best way that she became famous, but I think she was able to make something great out of it eventually. There's tons and tons of examples like this. I think Paris is a completely stunning woman, same with Kim. And then I remember this photo shoot back in 2018 that, I think 2017 actually, that Paris had. I think it was part of her birthday photo shoots or something. A year later, Kim did the exact same thing with pink roses. What do they have with like this 1 year gap? Remember that Porsha and Simon Gobadia got together 1 year after the marriage with Falynn failed. So it's a lot really. Like, it's a lot to think about. Like, I know coincidences happen and things like that, but not everything is a coincidence, like I said. So use discernment. Use discernment, my ladies. I can't say it enough. I can't stress it enough how much you need to use discernment. You need to be careful when it comes to people. When you see that someone is literally obsessing over your life, it's okay to admire your friends. It's okay to aspire to be as great as your friends. But when it's beginning to look like an obsession, then I think you need to run. I think you need to protect yourself and remove yourself from that situation. It's only normal that, in friendships or relationships, sometimes you use each other's words and then you just become more similar. But to want to be a whole nother person, and no, that's too much. Another perfect example is this movie titled She Must Be Obeyed. It's a Nigerian movie and it's on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Amazon Prime. Another wonderful example here. So I'll give you a brief rundown of what happened in this series, in this movie, right? So the main cast in this movie is a singer. She's an Afrobeat artist and she's really popular all over Africa. But guess what? She cannot sing to save her life. Like, her voice, terrible. So there's someone that does the dirty work for her, in quotes. The actual person behind the good voice lives in abject poverty. So she uses that girl to record her songs, all of her hit tracks, and gives this girl peanuts because, like, she's really poor. She needs the money and everything.
How long have you been working with She Records?
About 2 months now, ma.
Lemon. Her Excellency, sir.
2 months.
Yes, ma.
Okay, you're fired.
Ma?
Because, like I said, she's
Was
been
I
living
talking
in
to you?
abject poverty
Sir,
for the
sir,
longest.
sir, sir.
So
You will
the
leave
opportunity to
immediately.
sing for Madam She
Ensure
came
you drop
along,
all property belonging
and
to She
even if
Records.
she feels cheated in some way, she cannot really let that come out to play. She cannot really express that she feels cheated, and she just continues to sing for Madam She. Things get increasingly worse for Rachel, and she walked up to Madam She to ask her for a loan. Madam She let her know that, she has no money to give to her, and things are rough and things like that. Rachel knows that Madam She has money, right? She's selling out shows, selling out concerts, the music stopping the chart and things like that. So she just requested for a loan still, but this time she's going to be singing for Madam She for years without getting any pay. You know that kind of setup. Then Madam She agreed to that. Towards the end of the movie, looks like Madam She is about to get exposed because there's a season 2. So we're all waiting to see what happens. But things like this happen all the time. Look at how Rachel is getting used for her talent, her voice. When Madam She gets on stage, she literally just mimes and pretends like she's the star, like she's the one singing, and nobody has discovered this, that it's actually not her voice. So I know why people, or rather I understand why people would term this as destiny swapping, because it really does look like destiny swapping. But my darlings, your destiny is in your hands and in the hands of God. And don't give anybody any power to, to feel like they can swap your destiny, because they cannot. But you need to be careful, because it doesn't mean they cannot plan. It doesn't mean they cannot, try to unalive you. It doesn't mean they cannot try to take over your life by any means necessary. So please protect yourself, okay? That's my take on destiny swapping. Do you have any other examples you want to share with us? Please do so in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in my next upload. If you're not subscribed already, please do. I love you, girlies, and I'm sure God loves you even more. Until next time.